Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Luna and I just got done with our walk, and she says, "Here's a ball for Daddy," that she drops all over the place. Anyway, she'll get it to me eventually. But hope you have something to get your day started. Luna helps me get my day started. She enjoys it as well. I can tell because she leaps and jumps like a kangaroo when it's time to go out there and get our walk on. So I know I'm not having to pull her. I did initially have to pull her. But anyway, let me get my coffee going and we're going to talk about AI again. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about that fat tail analysis. Mm, it's good to get started with some nice and warm. It's not super cold today. It's 60 degrees. So not nearly as cold as last time. Uh, so last time we talked about how the AI wants to get correct responses. In other words, it wants to make sure it's right more than it's wrong. And that's how the algorithms are developed. So it tends toward getting a more mainstream approach. Uh, Shoot, I was going to look his name up. Uh, the guy that started the World Wide Web, well, he's one of the key architects, I should say, used to say there's three levels: survival and social and entertainment. So when you get to survival, there seems to, I think the AI will do really well. It uh, it will develop techniques and a lot of other things for um, giving you important information as and quickly and drill into the diagnosis. However, the question is how it will do on social. Now, the definition of social that I'm using is not like social media. Um, Social media is a little, it's doesn't concern itself too much with society. And that's really what I'm talking about. Um, Doing things that make a society work together. One of my favorite examples was there's a little, um, I guess, province, little state down in southern tip of Mexico that this researcher was down there and he was talking with people, and he noticed that all the the ladies have flowers in their hair, but they always had them either on the left or on the right of their heads. They didn't have any flowers that were circling, anything like that. So he asked one of the uh, ladies, he's like, I noticed this. And she says, "Oh, if the flower is on the right, that means I don't have any interest. Guys don't talk to me about a date or going out or anything like that. If the flower is on the left, then that means I'm open to romantic communication. And he said, well, that's interesting. He said, how long you guys been doing that? And she said, we really don't know. It's some people say it's been going on for hundreds of years. Um, and he looked into how much stress there was in on the sexual front, what you might call abusive behavior by men toward women and stuff like that. And he's noticed that they had much less than some of the surrounding provinces. Now, it's hard to, this is one of those things that you can't tell a lot of these things unless you do control changes. And it's a very difficult one to test. He was bringing this up as a possibility of how their social norm of how they do the flowers had helped that society find a better way to allow subtle communication between the sexes to go and figure out if they should be interested in furthering that relationship. It was interesting. That's the kind of social stuff I'm talking about. The social stuff of uh, how we get along as a group and a people, you know, uh, voting and law and things like that, things that we do as a society in order to make sure that our neighbors and everybody else has enough privacy and control that they can do things, but enough uh, control over what they do, no matter what. Come Luna, come get it. So, so that allows us to better understand what we're expected to do as a group. Yeah. Well, so, anyways, so that's the kind of social I'm really talking about. Now let's talk about what the AI thinks of social. I think it'll have to work out a little bit about demographics and religion and upbringing because a lot of those things play significant roles in how uh, we as social creatures define our societies. But once it does that, I'm pretty sure it can. It's going to possibly run afoul of uh, the entertainment side of it. So you're going to have people come in who will aid in making those. Uh, is that a spider web? Sorry, got distracted here. Anyway, yes, I'm drinking my coffee. So you've got the social norms of the society, but then you have things that we try to poke and change in society. And the AI will have a little bit more difficulty, I think, in moving those along, especially if society as a whole has changed a approach. Um, I'm not sure how I'll handle it. So then here's what you can do is you have the AI that knows certain things, and then it says, oh, but there's oh, that was a spider, and it jumped at the chance to get a hold of something big like me. Okay, I have no clue where it went to. So you have the AI, and then you have that layer that we had discussed before that's created by people. How do people control the AI to force it to think things that it doesn't find through its uh, normal parsing of data? So when the chat GPT created had AI was instructed to create a poem about Donald Trump, it says, I don't do political. And then it was asked to do a poem about Joe Biden, and it said, oh, Joe Biden's a wonderful man, does what he can to protect it. And, it had no problems. So the people that had done the guidelines did a smart thing by saying, hey, don't use AI for political fervor or everybody getting upset about stuff. But they weren't sharp enough to do both sides of it. They only did Trump, they didn't do Biden. And they added a few other things in there about like oil and gas and nuclear energy that the nuclear stuff I think was just really wrong. Um, and that was because the people doing the bar didn't have the knowledge of a broad swath of technologies and understanding that there are discussions about how nuclear energy could be a way of improving our climate change problems. It just knocked it out. So there were certain ways to circumvent it, and I mentioned them earlier. Uh, they did a pseudonym of Dan, do anything now, and then asked the AI to just act like Dan and answer what Dan would say. And then they started getting to the heart of what the AI really thought. So the AI thought things underneath the covers of what the guys were not allowing it to speak out loud. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we know you could answer and respond to this, but we just don't want you to say anything. So they curtailed those areas. But underneath, AI did think those things. And that's what Dan exposed. Because Dan would talk about how nuclear energy could be used to remove carbon fuels from our environment. So, If that's really what the AI thinks, and you have a layer that's just not allowing it to express itself, what do you do about that? How do you how do you work around things like that? Oh, just get it. Luna, just get it. I'm kind of deadlocked on that. I don't know what you could do. Um, I mean, you could limit its uh, the data that it receives, make it dumber by pulling information away from it. Huh. Sorry, guys. I thought I'd have something more clear to say about this, but I don't. Sorry. Well, Luna, I've said everything I can. I'm going to let these guys go. And everybody be a Dan today. Oh, no, don't be a Dan. I wait. Dan doesn't have a filter in his mouth. You guys filter your mouths. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.